Bobs, what was your initial take on David coming in at 166? I know everybody was talking about that. Do you read into that at all?
I mean, I wouldn't read into it too much. A pound or two underneath isn't crazy. If you came in at like 164 and you could, you know, make that amateur one, the middleweight, that'd be crazy. If you came in at 165, 164. But I wouldn't read into that too much. I don't think that plays into the fight too much.
Yeah, and we even talked about it before the fight that he was looking different physically, but that in training he's been great, right?
Right, 100%. He always looks good, but he's a bigger dude. So when he gets cut down and lean down, it just amplifies what he has underneath all that. But I would say one thing that I did agree with Caleb is you're supposed to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's supposed to. I was like, that's kind of real. Like. I saw a video of him saying like you're supposed to do that. You know, I brought my mouth guard in my cup too. You're supposed, you know. So, you know, I wouldn't read too much into it. We know he has missed weight once, but when you're that big and you have to cut that much weight, it doesn't surprise me. I was always surprised that he could make weight in general.
Right. What is it like for you being out here, being basically at the mecca of boxing, or at least the mecca of American boxing, supporting somebody that you work with every single day? Like, how many people can say they're in that position?
Right. I would say definitely for me in terms of how it feels like I should be here. I've been working really hard for a lot of years behind the scenes, and I just feel like this is the right place for me. Like I should be here, so it feels right, honestly.
What has been your favorite part of this weekend so far?
Probably Thursday, honestly. Like there was a press conference. I got to meet with Showtime Boxing people, and it was just really an experience that I came here for. That's, you know, and that was really valuable to me. But I think tonight's gonna be my favorite part of the fight. It's like I got a really, really good seat. We're gonna be ringside, so I think tonight for the fights, that's gonna be my favorite part. So it hasn't even peaked yet, you know what I mean? So I'm super excited to experience all that ringside.
I mean, we've talked about the fight a few times, but now that we're on fight day, what's your instinct say? How's this fight play out?
Yeah, the more people I talk to, you know, the more it solidifies my idea of what's going to happen tonight. I think Caleb is going to have a lot of success in the beginning rounds, but towards the end of the fight, middle of the fight, that's when we're going to start seeing the breakdown happen. He's going to run out of gas. He's not going to be able to move and, you know, use the ring as his advantage. So towards around like 7, 8, 9, or 10, that's when I think we're going to see a knockout.
When you're in the ring with David, what do you do personally to kind of deal with his pressure and his volume?
Right, so when I'm in the ring with him, I like to use my range, right? Use the range. You got to make him respect you. If he doesn't respect you, he's going to keep coming forward, throwing punches. So you got to make him respect you right from the beginning, and I think if you don't use your range, you're going to get eaten alive. So I definitely like to use my range and head movement.
You mentioned meetings with Showtime. Are you starting to see the rewards of your last performance?
I am, I mean, and not just my last performance, you know, the performance before that. So I would say it's all the work that I've done. We're seeing the rewards reap from that, and I mean, it is what it is. Like boxing, you can't lie. So if you don't look good, you don't look good. If you have a good performance, you have a good performance. So I think it just speaks for itself. It feels good though.
Is there any kind of insight you can give into what David's mindset might be right at this moment? We're a couple hours out.
I mean, you're nervous no matter what, no matter how hard you train, which you obviously train really hard. As a fighter, you're always going to be nervous, and that nerve slowly starts to go away. When you get in the ring and the bell rings and you finally get in the fight, I don't think either one of them are going to be nervous. They're going to be ready to show. But before that, you can't help it. It's just you should feel nervous. You should feel that. If you're not feeling that as a fighter, I've never heard of that. Everybody from every range of, you know, amateurs to the highest level of elites, you're going to feel that pressure. And, you know, they're probably pretty tired at this point, too, with all the conferences and the weigh-in. So now this is probably a little bit easier because, like, all right, now all I have to do is fight, and that's all I've been training to do. So once that bell rings for the first round, then I think everything's going to be electric, and they're going to be fine. But right now they're in their head a little bit, probably.
Is there anything or any insight or any news you can give the fans about when exactly they'll get to see you in the ring then?
Yeah, we're looking at summer, so either beginning of summer, midsummer. Definitely want to stay active this year. Want to get at least 3 fights, and yeah, we look for probably beginning of summer, middle of summer.
Outside of the main event, what's the fight you're looking forward to?
Ryo, that's my homie, also from Seattle. He's fighting Chris Gobert. That's going to be an amazing fight. All the fights, this card is stacked, man. This card, it's pay-per-view, like you guys were saying. It's definitely worth the watch, worth the pay. But I'm definitely looking forward to Ryo. He has a really tough fight ahead of him. I was talking to Senior earlier, and he was just like, yeah, it's going to be a tough fight. But this is, either one of them wins, it elevates him back into being elite. So
yeah, that's a true 50-50 fight.
Yep,
absolutely. We talked about this, bro. The young cats, they're stepping up and they're taking risky fights.
Yep.
You got to respect that shit.
What is your? He mentioned taking risky fights. You know, you see some guys build up records 30-0 or whatever.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? And I mean, you've shown you've been in risky fights.
Oh yeah.
So what's your take on that?
I mean, to each is their own. I'm not going to do that. I don't think that if you're actually trying to be an elite fighter, faster, I mean, why would you do that? But if you're a younger fighter and you're trying to build confidence because you didn't have that big of an amateur career, then it makes more sense to do that. You get kind of job experience on the road. You're in the ropes.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. So I think that's the best way to look at it. Is if you're younger, you want to build that confidence, and then when you're ready to step into those elite fights, the riskier fights, then you do it. We can't really knock because everybody's story is going to be different. Everybody's going to have a different route. You know what I mean? So we can't really. You can critique them if they keep doing it and they're elite fighters. We can name a few. I'm sure you can. I'm not going to do it, but we can name a few. Bob and Weave. We can name a few. You know what I mean? That are just doing that continuously. And so
I want to throw a couple of names your way.
Yep.
And you tell me which one kind of intrigues you the most. Shane Mosley Jr., Edgar Berlanga, John Ryder.
Well, I would say, ask me that again on May 7th. And if John Ryder beats Canelo, then it's definitely going to be John Ryder. Out of those names, I would say, I think Berlanga would probably be the most exciting fight out of those. I think the most technical fight would probably be Junior, just because he's tough. And stylistically, I think that would be a good fight as well. But I think out of those, Berlanga would be the best fight. Yeah.
I got one more I'm going to throw at you. Beck Melakuziev. Beck the Bully.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him. Good. I mean, it would be a good fight. He's a little young. I think I wanted to see him with a few more fights. But that'd be a good fight. He's a southpaw. I'm a southpaw. Pretty strong puncher. Good fight.
What do you want to say to all the fans following you since day one?
Yeah, all the fans following me since day one, thank you for being here, and I really appreciate the support. I want to give a shout out to MGM Ring Productions, my coaches, Ricardo Acuna, the best trainer in the game, Christopher Mendez, my cut man, John Parham, and hey, if you're still watching me, like, let's just keep watching, because tune in, we're gonna blow up, and we're just trying to do anything possible to, make fighting exciting, and I want to do that. I want to keep you entertained, so let's keep the vibe rolling, baby.